Hey friends, how's it going? This is David Potts with Song Notes, and today's lesson will be for the Guy Clark song, Let Him Roll. So this is a super fun song. I'm going to do it in the Travis picking style, and this is one I've had a blast learning. And this is going out by request to Stuart. Stuart, thanks for the request, and thank you for your support. It means a lot, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this, and to all of you else who want to support me and get access to these cool PDFs I'm making for all my new lessons, check out the website, playsongnotes.com. The link is there, and it's a great deal, I hope, for learning these songs, right? Videos are helpful, but having something you can follow along with, I think, goes that extra mile to help you put it together outside of a glowing screen, which is nice too, right? But with that said, guys, we're going to get into this now. Here's what I'm going to cover in this lesson. Now, this song, I'm going to really make sure I show you how I went about learning it, because Travis picking is not like it's something I'm pretty new to as a guitarist. And this song took me a couple weeks to really get over the hump with. I just stuck with it. I tried to do about 15 minutes a day of practice, some days more, some days a little bit less. But the point was things were very slow going at first, but I stayed with it. I gave it time. I sort of built up the muscle memory, and I added slowly. So I'm going to show you those layers, right? The layers I sort of started with were super simple. You know, add a layer, add a layer, add a layer, and by the end, you got the sort of finished version here that I played for you. So hopefully this is valuable for you if you are trying to learn this, and I'll show you how to go about it. So, with that said, let's get into learning this step by step. Okay, so again, you could take this full tab and run with it, but again, I'm going to break this down to its pieces, and the pieces, they are going to start with these chord shapes. Just the chord shapes, okay? So first we're going to look at it's going to be basically a C, F, and G, but there's going to be very unique versions of each one. So for the C, it's a pretty standard chord, just a regular C major chord, right? Third, second, open, first, open, as far as your frets go, starting on the fifth string. Now, then there's going to be this F add 6, really. And it's add 6 in the sense that instead of doing a full F, what we're going to be doing is a lot of our sort of melody notes are coming out of the second, third, and fourth string, okay? Index, middle, ring finger on the second, third, fourth string on the first, second, and third fret, okay? But we're gonna put our pinky down on that second string, third fret. That's gonna be the sixth tone in the F scale, and that makes it an F add 6, really. And then if we can, what we wanna do is either put our thumb down here. I sort of like to wrap it around and just sort of press it diagonally into that first fret of the low E string. Right? That doesn't come easy at first. Took me a while to get the hang of. Right? So that would be like if you just plucked the 6th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, that would be an F. Put that pinky down to make it an F add 6. Okay, I'm not going to play the 5th string at all. If you can't do this thumb thing, what you could do is basically put your index finger there, and then put your ring, pinky, and middle where they're gonna go. So you still get the same notes pressed down, but you're having to reach around a little bit more. But you totally can play the song like this, okay? I like to do it this way, just because it keeps my index finger up here on the same note it is for the C, right? That switch from the C to the F is a pretty nice one, and you put the F add 6 down. So this is the F add 6 chord. You want to memorize that one. And then for the G, all we're going to do is keep our pinky where it was for the F add 6 on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then put our ring finger down here on the low E string, 3rd fret. Okay, we're not going to play the 5th string on the G or on the F, okay? I'm not going to play it. So, those 3 chords, I'll say that if it's your first day and you really want to learn this song, memorize where your fingers need to go. Don't worry about strumming, don't worry about finger picking pattern, don't worry about timing. Just memorize the position and memorize being able to switch to these chords. Go back and forth between the C and the F add 6, bring in the G, but take it slow. It took me forever just to get used to going to that F chord, because I'm not used to playing it that way. Now, the thing I'll say about these chords also is there's these additional voicings you're going to need at some point, which are, for the C, you need your regular C. Sometimes you're going to put your pinky down on that third fret of the 2nd string, right? Sometimes you're going to play the open E string at the top. Sometimes you're going to play the 3rd fret on the G string, I'm sorry, on the open, the thinnest string, the E string, but you're gonna add that G note on top of your C, so, right? So the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. Now we're gonna use these in different orders at different parts of the song, but be able to go between these. Similarly for the F add 6, if you do this sort of thumb trick here, you can go from a regular F to the add 6 version by putting your pinky down and taking your pinky off. And this is really important, you want to do this one where you lift up your index finger. Right? And you can do that whether you're in a regular F or an F add 6. You're going to need this because that crucial part of the song is going to use your middle finger coming off there on that 3rd string, okay? And then for the G, you want to be able to do the one I showed you, but then you want to be able to do the open E string at the top. And then put your index finger down on the 1st fret of the 1st string. Okay, so those 3 are for what you want for the G. I'm sharing this with you because once you start to get a hang of the basic chord shapes, you want to start to add these little variations into your practice routine, because once you bring in the finger picking, you're going to need to be able to put these pinky notes down and take these fingers off, right? You're going to need to be able to do that, so you need to have your left hand knowing how to do that already, okay? So those are the chord shapes. Again, give it some time. It took me a couple days to get over this. And the first day was very rough in particular, so I wanted to make sure that's clear. At the same time, though, here's something else you can start practicing, which is how to start bringing in the picking, all right, the Travis picking. And again, I'm no expert on this, so here's how I learned it. Basically, first, we're going to start with the bass notes of these chords, right? And the C is the trickiest one, I think, because you're going to be going from the 5th to the 4th string with your thumb, right? But you actually want to alternate the bass note between the 3rd fret on the 5th string and the 3rd fret on the 6th string. And in between all those, you're always going to go to this 4th string 2nd fret. So this is something you want to practice, right? Get good and comfortable. Be able to do it without even thinking about it, right? And then one thing you can switch to is go to that F, right? So if you put your hand in the F add 6 position, if you were just to play the 6th and the 4th string and alternate, it would be this. You're in octaves of F here, right? From F to F to F to F. And then go back to the C maybe. And practice this transition. G, 3rd fret open, 3rd fret open, 6th and 4th string, 6th string, 4th string. So, practice this and then be able to go back and forth between those chords freely, which is tricky. Again, this took me some time as well. But what I did the first couple days is I just worked on, number one, learning the chord shapes, getting to them quickly, switching between them quickly, and then I would take a break and then go to these bass notes. And I wouldn't, you can just do the bass notes by themselves. Don't worry about the full chord yet. But you do want to keep your fingers in the positions they'll be in for the chords. For example, I'm using my thumb here and my ring finger here because that's where they'll be when the full F is played, or the F add 6, right? When I'm first doing the bass notes, you can just do your whatever fingers you need to get that practice going. But you want to work on this thumb engine to learn this song. And then finally here I have tabbed out this walk-up turnaround, so to speak, right? So, and what that is it's for the C major. Imagine you're just going on the C, and then you want to do this turnaround. Turnaround in the sense that you're sort of, whoops, messed up. You're sort of starting the sequence over again, right? And you're walking it up. Dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. This is another good thing to practice. And And you're gonna need that in the song, okay? So that's pretty much the alternating bass notes. You wanna learn those. Next up will be the chord progression that this uses. Now, I'll say about the song is that there's gonna be two actual progressions. There's the intro and the verse, and they're like 95% the same. The verse is actually gonna switch back to an F at one point. I'll show you that later, but what I'm going to show you for the rest of this lesson, for the most part, is going to be the intro, right? The thing you hear at the beginning of this song, the intro finger picking tab. And it looks like this. We're basically going to have, it's 8 measures to be honest, but I have them broken into 4 parts, like 2 measures each, just because the changes kind of line up more neatly that way. So we're going to be on the C for 4 counts and then 4 more counts. So C for 8 counts, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to F. F at 6 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G, da da C, da 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 da. That's the F, right? The G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, da da da. So this is something you can start to practice even if you do a strum or you just do a grab of all the strings like I'm doing here, and just sort of understand that this is like the foundation of the timing that we're going to be in, okay? And you could start to practice this with, say, you could bring in this sort of playing the right thumb only. That's actually the next thing I recommend, is doing that same overall timing, but then just do the thumb notes, right? So start up with that walk in. We're going to walk it up once at the beginning, and then when we repeat it, we're not going to walk it up again. We're just going to start on the C. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to C, to G, 2, 3, 4 to C, C again, and to F, and F, 2, 3, 4 to G, G again, down to C, and to G, da da bum. So that's the next thing you want to do, is just get used to doing that over and over again. And if you want to learn the full intro, your thumb needs to know how to do this, because everything else we're going to do is going to start to add our middle and index finger in our right hand, and it gets trickier. And we're going to have to do some chord shape stuff with our pinky, which gets trickier. But your thumb has to do exactly what I just showed you without thinking about it. And that's really tough and tricky if you're new to Travis picking like me. So the next part, I would say, is when you start to bring in your index and middle finger, and I think I play this all with my middle finger, or just, I don't know if I'm using too many fingers here, but it's basically, you're going to want to just add a few notes to start with. So check out this tab, where I'm basically going to bring in the simplified melody, right? The full melody is like, the full tab, right? This is the full tab. We're not going to do that at first. What we're going to do is just get like the main highlight notes of that. No hammer-ons it or nothing crazy. It's going to sound like this, right? So check this out. Okay, so you see what I did there is you could hear the intro to the song, like the core of the melody, but I'm kind of keeping the melody nice and buttoned up and simple. I'm not doing a little bit of the free flourish that you sort of hear with a normal melody. But you learn that first, and what it does is it starts to just go into that full complex melody easier. And all I'm doing there is basically doing the thumb engine stuff I showed you, and I'm just bringing in some of those chord shapes, right? The C, and then the open C, and the C with the pinky down, right? So that's kind of how we're starting with that first high G note on the C, and then, right? And what you could do actually is play just the high melody notes. Don't worry about the thumb, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. right? So the melody kind of becomes a lot simpler when you just use your index finger or middle finger. I think I'm using my middle finger here, or my middle. I don't know which one, but just one of them. Or maybe I do my middle on the high E string and my index on the B string. But it's really combining those melody notes with the bass engine. That's the hard part, in my opinion. Right. So now that we had that, now what we're going to do is add the melody notes in the exact timing that Guy Clark is using. So that's going to sound like this. I'm going to take it really slow. So this is the full verse, or the full intro part of the song. Let's walk it up. And I'll explain this in a second. Okay, so tricky things going on here. The first thing is going to be this F add 6 hammered on. Well, actually, I'll start with this walk up. I'll say when you do the walk up, you want to get your left hand in the chord position first, the C chord position, and then do the walk up. Okay, because if you're starting like this, and you have to get your hand in that chord shape, I could do it right there because I've practiced this song so much the last few weeks. But if you're starting out, you're having to get it there in time. Just get it there. Get your left hand there and then just do the walk up. Because you should be able to do it with your hand in the chord shape, right? Okay, so that's my tip for the walk up there. Next is this F add 6 hammer on. This is tricky. This is like, I didn't think I was gonna be able to learn this. I thought I was gonna have to sort of work my way around it and just teach you a simplified version. But it finally came together as I kept at it. And that's what practice does when you give it the days and weeks and hours, right? So the F add 6, what that's gonna be is, looking at this thing, the tabs look crazy to me by themselves. I have to like almost play my way into it. So the thing about the hammer-on is you're basically going to pluck the third string on the and count, the 4 and count, and then hammer on the 1 count. So practice that without the bass notes, right? So you're plucking on the 4 and count, you hammer on the 1 count, and on the 1 and count, you play the 2nd string, 3rd fret. If you can't do the hammer on, you can just pluck the string twice. That's what I did for the first couple days I was learning this, to be honest. This part of the song. And you play it 4 times, right? But what happened was I was able to get to the point where I could do that. And the tricky part about the hammer on too is when you hammer on at the same time you're hammering with your left hand, you have to pluck the low E string with your right hand. And that's such a weird thing for your brain. If you're me, again, in my experience, it was so weird to have to do that, where you pluck a string and then you're gonna have to pluck the bass string and hammer on at the same time. So that's how you do that F add 6 hammer on thing. And then for the G, it's nothing too crazy. I mean, the timing is kind of nuts. You want to just learn the melody notes by themselves if you need to. Right? So with the bass note, whoops. Right? Do it again. One more time. Okay, the last couple of measures there aren't terribly tricky because you're kind of always on the for the most part, you're on the quarter notes. But yeah, that's how you pretty much do the full intro of this song. So I hope that was helpful. Now, the verse. Okay, so how the verse compares to the intro. The first the first at C, and then the F add 6, and then the G, those are all the same, right? The first 3 chords are all the same finger picking and everything. But after the G, it's going to this F. This is going to be new because we're going to be on just the regular F. We're going to add the 6th note there, the 6th tone, to make it an F add 6. Then we're going to go back to the C for 8 counts. Okay, so that's really the tricky part. So let's play into that. We'll just do the first, the C and the F add G and the G to sort of show you how they're the same, right? This is the same as the intro, but this is the verse I'm playing. So here we go. Start it over. Okay, I actually cheated on an F there. It should be. Doing a circular pattern here from the F to the C, right? I'm messing up. That's a way, and with practicing music in general, I think you want to find these, you have a great sequence you need to play. Find the little pockets in the sequence that you can repeat in a way that makes sense to you, and then practice repeating them. And then take a break and zoom out, and then you can either connect the sequence next to it or the sequence after or extend it. That's kind of how it works. I find that when I'm playing music, I can't just necessarily always go into like play those 3 counts or those 4 counts by themselves. I need to kind of start with what I know, right? In this case, the C. I feel comfortable doing this. Maybe I just bring in a treble note, right? And then maybe I want to practice going to the F. Back to the C and the F. Right, little groove there, but then go back to the C. So you got to kind of find the ways to practice that make sense for you. It can be kind of maddening to focus just on 2 or 3 counts because you can't just jump in. You want to like ride the wave, if like you're surfing or whatever. I'm mixing up metaphors here, but that's how you play the verse. Now, if you were to basically take that verse, those verse chords, and then apply them to the lyrics, I mean, it would kind of sound like this. I'm not going to do the full finger picking. I'll do the bass notes only, but so starting it. Now he's a wino, tried and true, done everything there is to do. He's worked on freighters and worked in bars. He's worked on farms and he's worked in cars. It was white port that put that look in his eye, that grown men regret when they need to cry. And he just sat down on the curb to rest, and his head just fell down on his chest. Right? Now, I can't do the finger picking and do the talking blues at the same time. That's Guy Clark's business. But, this is, hopefully this PDF will help you if you want to sort of follow along. You could strum it as well, right? So, now he's a wino, tried and true. He's done everything about that there is to do. He's worked on freighters, and he's worked on bars, and he's worked on farms, and he's worked on cars. Okay, so there you have it. I hope this is helpful for you. This might have been a long one, but again, this is a great... I love Guy Clark's music, and Travis picking is quite fun. Even though I am new to it, it is fun for me to learn, and hopefully me sharing with you the steps I took to be able to play this song made it satisfying and were helpful for you. That's what I really hope. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching this far. Thanks to all of you who have thrown a few bucks in my tip jar. I really appreciate that as well. And these lessons are going to keep on coming. Just send me requests and I'll get to the ones I can. And thanks for your patience there. I can only learn some of these songs so quick. So I wish there was more of me sometimes to learn more songs at once. But alas, I'm going to go now. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.